Let's dive right into this explainer. So picture this. You're in the kitchen, right? The prep is done, the ingredients are fresh, everything is going absolutely great. And then, out of nowhere, beep, your induction cooktop just completely shuts down and starts flashing this cryptic code of letters and numbers at you. Man, talk about the ultimate culinary buzzkill. It is so incredibly frustrating to have your dinner interrupted by a machine that basically seems to be speaking gibberish. But hey, don't worry. Today, we're going to act as your personal decoder ring. We'll translate all that confusing machine language into plain old English, turning that moment of panic into, well, a moment of empowerment. You see, your induction cooktop is actually an amazing piece of smart technology. It's incredibly fast, super energy efficient, and heavily monitored by all these internal sensors. But, because it's so smart, it talks to you in its own special language of error codes whenever something goes slightly wrong. Really, it's just trying to protect itself, your home, and, of course, your dinner.
To keep you from panicking the next time this happens, we're going to use a simple triage method to categorize these issues. Here's our roadmap for today. First, translating your cooktop's language. Second, the quick and easy fixes. Third, cooling down overheating issues. Fourth, dealing with voltage variations. Fifth, when to call the pros. And finally, number 6, a 4-step universal troubleshooting checklist.
Section 1. Translating your cooktop's language. Decoding the beeps. Let's see how categorizing the severity of a code really helps you understand what your cooktop is actually trying to say. Moving to Section 2. The quick and easy fixes. Under-a-minute solutions. We'll start with the best category. We're talking about codes like E0 or U, which usually just mean the cooktop is a bit unhappy with its power connection or it's rejecting your pan. Now remember, induction cooktops are kind of like incredibly picky eaters. They don't use a hot, open flame or some glowing electric coil. Instead, they use a magnetic field to generate instant heat right there, directly inside the bottom of your cookware. So if your pot isn't magnetic, the whole system just safely shuts down. Why? Well, because there's literally nothing for the cooktop to heat up. So the crucial point here is to run a super quick diagnostic check right at the stove. First off, is the plug fully pushed into the wall? Okay, if yes, let's look at the pan. Does a standard fridge magnet stick firmly to the bottom of it? If it slides right off, well, that pan is never going to work. Plus, the bottom needs to be completely flat, no wobbling allowed. And lastly, you got to check the size. For instance, cooktops like the Furrion models need a minimum diameter of around 12 centimeters, that's roughly 5 inches, and they go up to about 26 centimeters. If it's too small or way too large, those smart sensors simply can't detect it. All right, Section 3, cooling down overheating issues. The waiting game. If your pan is perfectly flat and perfectly magnetic, but you're still getting an error, our next bucket of codes means the machine is probably just protecting itself from internal damage. This actually brilliantly illustrates how different brands speak completely different dialects for the exact same problem. Like if you own a Sub-Zero, you might see an E3 pop up, meaning the heatsink is too hot. Their fix? Just wait a bit, then flip your house breaker off for 30 seconds. But on a Gasland cooktop, an E5 means the internal transistor is running hot. Over on New Wave models, an E7 code triggers if the internal temperature exceeds 230 degrees Fahrenheit. The overarching message across all of them, though, is exactly identical. Hey, I am way too hot, please just let me rest. But wait, before you just walk away for 10 or 20 minutes to let the appliance cool down, you absolutely have to do a quick visual inspection. Always double-check that there isn't a stray kitchen towel, a cookbook, or even a spoon blocking those surface ventilation holes. And if you have a built-in unit, say a thermidor, make sure there isn't some massive stack of pots and pans stuffed under the counter that's restricting the airflow to the cabinet cavity. You got to give that fan some room to breathe.
Moving on to Section 4, dealing with voltage variations. Power grid problems. What's actually really interesting here is that sometimes the cooktop is sitting there waiting on your house's electricity grid, not its own internal temperature.
Think about codes like New Wave's E3 and E4, or Furrion and True Induction's E2 and E3. These codes elegantly point out the difference between your wall voltage being too low or too high. For instance, a New Wave will actually throw an error if the voltage drops below 85 volts or if it spikes up above 144 volts. So this isn't a broken cooktop at all, it's a built-in safety feature. The solution? Well, it usually just requires moving a portable cooktop to a dedicated outlet, or if you have a built-in model, simply waiting for your local power grid to stabilize. Section 5. When to call the pros. Internal hardware faults.
We've finally reached the climax of our triage method, where sadly, your DIY heroism safely comes to an end.
Guys, these are the major red flags. If you see an E6 on some models, that means a broken internal cooling fan. Gaslands, F3, F4, F9, or FA codes, those indicate completely failed internal temperature sensors. Or maybe you got an overheating code earlier. You let the unit cool down for a solid hour, and the second you turn it back on, boom, the code immediately returns. Looking at the Furrion troubleshooting chart, for example, codes like E7, E8, E9, and EE point straight to critical internal electrical faults.
Whenever a core safety component, like a thermal relay or a power board, fails, the golden rule of induction cooktop repair is incredibly simple but absolutely vital for your safety. Stop what you're doing, unplug the unit entirely from the wall or turn off the breaker, and call an authorized technician. Seriously, never, ever attempt to disassemble an induction cooktop to fix those electronic boards yourself. The voltages inside these things are literally high enough to be extremely dangerous.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, 4-Step Universal Troubleshooting Checklist, your survival guide. We've thrown a dizzying amount of letters, numbers, and brand names at you today, so let's boil it all down into a foolproof, universal process.
I highly recommend committing this 4-step checklist to memory. Step 1. Check your basic power connections at the plug and the breaker. Super simple. Step 2. Verify your pan with a fridge magnet, making sure it's perfectly flat and the right size. Step 3. Clear anything that might be blocking the vents and just give the machine a solid 20 minutes to cool off. And finally, Step 4. If you've done all of that and a critical fault code is still staring back at you, it's time to call the pros.
Let me leave you with one final thought here. Because an E1 code could mean a completely harmless high-voltage blip on one brand, but then signify a highly dangerous internal short circuit on another brand entirely, finding your specific user manual before you cook your next meal is the absolute smartest move you can make. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, but it kind of makes you wonder, as our kitchens get smarter and smarter, are these appliances actually serving us, or are they slowly training us to speak their language? What other secret codes are your household devices hiding right now?